Hey all, welcome back to Sim Racer's Journey. In this video we're going to take a look at the Next Level Racing FGT Lite rig, give you our impressions of it. We've had it for a few months now. We did a real quick build video with some build tips in it here a month or two back. We'll have the links for that down below. But this one we're going to do a little bit more in depth. We're going to talk about our impressions of it up to this point, comfort-wise, durability-wise, adjustability-wise, and just our overall, what we think of it at this point in time. All the links to everything that we're going to talk about today are down below. Anything that you see links down there for, and that also includes all our streaming gear and our sim racing gear. Anything that you see down there is a product we believe in, we trust, and we endorse. That's our promise to you all. And now let's get on with the review. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at the wheel plate adjustments. It's adjustable for over a span of about 4.5 inches, and it's a very, very easy process. You just undo these. There's 4 of them. Get them all loose. You have to make sure that you remember that on the underside of this, there's a nut that will come loose and roll across the floor, which I have done before. Put those there for safekeeping. Then all you have to do is to almost a good catch. Flip that to there. Line it up and reinstall the nuts. And that's moving the plate. Very straightforward, very easy. Like I say, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 different adjustments that you can do on it. And it's about a 4.5 inch range, which is about 115 millimeters, I'm guessing. Should be about that. So that's that. Very easy. And it's also adjustable by loosening this clamp down here on the bottom for angle. Tighten it back down and you're in business. A lot of adjustment in them, and it's completely linear, the entire length of it, which is nice, as opposed to the wheel mount, which is 4 individual spots along the way. So you've got a little bit more adjustment. And also you have about an 11.5 inch span of adjustment, which is pretty nice. So the way it happens is you unloosen these right here, get these all the way loosened, and then if you're bolted in down to this bottom mount, you would unloosen those as well. These brakes are only bolted in up here, so I don't have to mess around with that one. But once you've got them loosened, you just slide it down, slide it up to wherever you want. And like I say, you have an 11.5 inch span, which is really nice. Then you just tighten them down. And these you got to tighten pretty tight, because if you have a load cell, or in the case right now we have the conical brake mount in there, it's a lot of force that you put on the pedals to put the brakes on, so they got to be cranked down pretty firmly. And that's it. That's all there is to it. Very easy, very straightforward. No fuss, no muss, and you're done. So now we're going to take a look at adjusting the angle of the pedal base here. It's super easy. I always keep mine, by the way, a lot of people will have theirs folded out like this. It takes up a lot of floor space that way, and so I always keep mine tucked in. But really what I did just then is about all you need to do to adjust the pedals. That's the highest it goes. Clip the cams down and it's done. It's about a 32 to 35 degree angle there that you can raise it. And that of course is independent of any angle that you might have on your pedal itself. It's set and things like that. But I mean, it's super easy, super straightforward. Doesn't take but a second. Putting it back down, same thing. Loosen the cams. And you're done. That's all there is to it. Again, a super adjustable, super easy feature of the Next Level Racing FGT Lite sim rig. Something else I also forgot to mention earlier is that the pedal plates themselves have these slots that go across, which means you can bolt your pedals down and then move them left and right to get them to a comfort spot for you. You're not constrained as to being centered on here or anything like that. And I think it may or may not be a big thing to you, but I think just having that added adjustment is a real good feature on this cockpit. So now we're going to talk about how easy it is to get in and out of the rig. Because of some of the way this is built, being a portable rig and everything, it might be a little bit more cumbersome than a standalone rig. Also, forgive it, it's a casual Friday at the house. I mean, every day's casual here, but all my other jeans are on the wash, so this is what we're wearing. But it's a very straightforward procedure. I mean, you just unclip this latch right here, move the shell to the side, swing that out, step in, bring it over, and you're in. I mean, it couldn't be much simpler, and it couldn't be much easier. Getting out, you just go backwards, undo the latch, move that, swing that, and walk out. Just that simple. So, I mean, that's the comfort and durability, the ease of getting in and out of it. We actually didn't touch on durability, but durability so far has been really, really good. I was a little worried about it being maybe not rigid enough, but it's been fine. I mean, this strap over here, the tension strap is important. We'll have a little piece on exactly how you thread that thing through, tighten it up, and make that work for you to just improve rigidity. But no, I'm super pleased with it from that point of view. We've had it for 4 or 5 months now, I think. Spent a lot of hours in it, a lot of time, and haven't had any durability issues with it at all. It's super good that way. It's a really, really comfortable rig. It's got this mesh back, runs all up and down the back, very comfortable. I've sat in it for 1.5 hours, 2 hours at a time. Had no problems at all with it as far as comfort. It's got a sling seat, so it sort of adjusts to however you're built. That's a real comfortable feature. It's got a little bit of padding here, which is real important, so that when your legs hang over there, they're not going to get the blood circulation cut off in them. So comfort-wise, it's great. It's got these peculiar bolsters here that really, they look pretty cool. And I noticed on some of I think it's the older, maybe an earlier production version of the FGT Lite, this mesh section came all the way down here and back up. It probably gave you a little bit cooler backside, but I don't know if it also might have had some durability issues. But this I've had no problems with at all. It's super comfortable. So now we're going to collapse the rig, test out its easy fold features that they talk about, which is one of its selling points, I think. It's a good selling point, something that you don't have to sit in your living room indefinitely, although mine's been sitting in the family room for 4 or 5 months now, but you know, that's just the way it goes. To be very honest, I've tried to fold it before and been frustrated by the process. Could be operator error, I'm certainly willing to own that. Could also be just kind of a cumbersome process. But let's give it a whack and we'll just see what happens. I also have made myself instructions. spelling it out very clearly. I've watched lots of videos. Hopefully we can get this thing done. First thing you do, collapse the headrest. Flip the cams up, spin it down. So far so good. Next thing we're going to do is we loosen these this locking mechanism here. The cam is missing because the one when we first got it, this threads were stripped out in here a little bit, so I had to get a longer bolt and put it in there, but that's no biggie. Just loosen it up. And you want to loosen these things loosen enough so that they spin free. And there we go. By the way, I put little pieces of tape on here to help me when I reassemble the seat to make sure everything's lined up the way it was before, which is the way I like it. So that's just a little thing that I did to help me get it back to where it was. So we're going to loosen this cam over here. That spins. The other thing we're going to do is loosen this belt, the tension belt, so that's not a part of this at all. And first we will fold up the back leg, but you notice it all kind of collapses simultaneously on us. And I see right now one of the problems is there's a nut right there and a nut right there, and those two don't peacefully coexist, so that's as far as that will fold up. But so far so good, hasn't been too bad. Next thing we're going to do, loosen these cams right here. Make sure those got room to spin, which they do. And we're going to and that folds there. Yeah, with a little bit more work we could fold this up and be fairly compact. But it's not easy. You can see that. It's a little bit cumbersome. It also has a tendency to, when you loosen the cams and start to do stuff, it just also folds in on itself because everything's loose. So that's something to keep in mind. Also, if you're going to collapse it, make sure you take off your wheel. Make sure you take off your pedals. It's a lot easier. So that's it. Worked better this time than it ever has. It is cumbersome, at least for me. Maybe other people are better at this. I don't know. But that's the folding feature of the Next Level GT Racing FGT Lite. So now we're going to look at the support belt or the tension belt, strap, whatever you want to call it. It's important to get some rigidity in this area right here. It's real easy install. Take the strap with the lettering upright up to the top, feed it through this loop right here, bring it through, then feed it again through this loop right here. Pull on it to give it some good tension and just sort of ease that Velcro in all the way along there, and you're in business. This should be done when you're not in the cockpit, so you can get the maximum amount of tension on it. Real easy to do, and just like I say, this rig is much more rigid than I expected it to be. I had seen a lot of reviews, they sounded good, but I kept looking at it going, gee, portable, with all these moving parts and everything, it's pretty rigid. I've had no problems that way. So that's a review for the Next Level Racing FGT Lite. To sort of sum it all up, it's got great adjustability. The pedals are adjustable for angle as well as fore and aft. They have about 11.5 inches of fore and aft adjustment, or 29 centimeters. The wheel angle is adjustable as well, real easily, just a bolt on the bottom that you just turn by hand and tighten into place after you get it where you want it. There's also 4 different places you can mount the wheel, giving you about 4.5 inches of adjustment that way, which is about 115 millimeters, I think. The front seat legs are adjustable as well, real easy to do. All these adjustments are very easy to do. They don't take very much time at all. Yeah, so that's a great feature of it. It's pretty accommodating as far as sizes. Per the specs on their website, it will accommodate anybody from 4 feet to 6'6". 4 feet might be pushing things a little bit, but it might work too. That's 120 to 200 centimeters. Weight limit of It's rated at 287 pounds or 130 kilograms. It's really comfortable. This mesh back in here breathes real well. Gives you some air circulation so you don't sweat too badly. Seems real rigid and durable. This tension belt here is a key component in that, so always make sure that you have that done up real good. It's switchable from GT to Formula and back again, seating positions that is. I've not done that because all I race is GT. It's foldable. We went into that a little bit. It's foldable. I just don't seem to be able to fold it, but I've seen it done, and so I know it is. Couple of tips on that. Just make sure that you remove your wheel and pedals. Two reasons. One, they make it heavier and things kind of collapse in on themselves easier. And two, they're just in the way. That's all there is to it. They'll just be in the way when you try and collapse it. All in all, it's a great rig. It's a super good entry point into sim racing rigs. It's very reasonably priced. And I mean, I love it. You've probably seen the other videos. I went from a homemade wooden rig that was about as rigid as a noodle sometimes to this, and I love it, both from the comfort and the immersion point of view. It's great. So yeah, that's our review of the FGT Lite by Next Level Racing. Can't recommend it enough. Like I say, the only thing that is a little bit problematic for at least me on it is the foldability, but I think if I kept working at it, I could figure it out. So as always, links to this product are below in the about, and the links to everything we use both for sim racing and videoing are down there. If it's something we've linked, you have our word on it that it's good, that we believe in it, and that we would highly recommend it to all of you. If you get some value out of this, and we hope you are, please like and subscribe down below, and we'll see you next time on Sim Racer's Journey.